Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Thursday on this channel, and today we have to talk about Scream 7. Some new tweets have come out, some new rumors have come out, and we have to break it all down. So let's jump right into it. So Scream 7 is still quite far away from being released. However, now that we are approaching it going into production, there are rumors that have started to happen already. And one of these rumors that I heard just recently is the possible return of Melissa Barrera. However, I'm sad to report that this is not actually going to be something that happens. This rumor got reported, and a lot of people were running with it, and apparently it's just not true. She's not coming back to the franchise just yet, but that doesn't mean we've seen the end of that character, because the Carpenter sisters could very well appear later on. Her and Jenna Ortega could actually appear later on, and that would be good. But they aren't going to be completely ignored within this movie. How much they will be mentioned will be determined by the plot. And we don't know necessarily how they're going to present that side of the story. But we do know that this is going to be a much more Sidney-centric movie. And we do know something else. This something else is kind of the thing we're going to talk about today, because it is a bit of an exciting thing that has come out. Because as you know, some of the Ghostface killers, the movies didn't quite live up to what a lot of fans wanted. And then you had some of the darker ones that lived up to what fans wanted. Now, in terms of darker, I mean you had some brutal murders. And of course there are always brutal murders within the Scream franchise, but when Ghostface is taken absolutely serious and he is a force to be reckoned with, he is a force that can rival even that of Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees. He is something that can be scary, but with Ghostface being an ever-changing entity and constantly being someone new in every single movie, of course you want to present that via who the killer is. The Ghostface mentality, at least in terms of the murders, has always been to show you who they are without showing you who they are. So basically you have the opportunity as you're watching the movies to guess which one is actually Ghostface and which ones are not. And that's kind of part of the fun. It is part of the mystery. Now, we do know something about the new movie already that has a lot of people excited. And it actually has me excited as well. Because if this is true, then this is a game changer. This is actually a game changer because it's going to make everything that much more intense. We got used to, in the newer couple movies, of the OG characters not being safe. Sure, in part 6, we had almost no one actually died. And then, we had in part 5, we had Dewey die. And everyone flipped out, because for that to happen, that literally meant that no one was safe. Your OG characters were not safe, and no one's safe, and that's the way to go with this franchise. I think the possibility of Sidney dying even, or of Kincaid, or of Gal Weathers is a big threat. It is something that will shock fans, and yet that's how you need to feel going into this movie. And I think that the latest information that has come out kind of gives a new hope to that being the case. According to Behind the Mask, Scream 7 will scare audiences more than any other Scream movie. The way Ghostface returns in this movie creates some real sense of danger for everybody involved. Now that is a big announcement. And if that proves to be the case here, then they have to do a lot. Because fans have grown accustomed to being shocked at the beginning of the movie. So in order for this to happen, in order for them to pull something off where you instantaneously feel that no one is safe, where everything has changed. They're going to have to kill an OG character at the beginning of this movie. And sadly, you're running out of these characters, because with the Carpenter sisters not coming back, you know it's not going to be any of them. And with none of the Scream 7 cast coming back, other than Gale Weathers, you know it's not going to be anyone there. The only other person that could come back is Kirby. The actress who plays Kirby has tried to make it so that she could come back. She has been lobbying to come back to play Kirby, and that's great. She is a phenomenal actress, and I love the character of Kirby. I think it would be exciting for her to come back. However, this is going to be a Sidney movie. And with Sidney, you only have a very limited amount of people that could come back. Now, Kincaid, people are calling an OG character all over. I've even sort of called him an OG character myself, because he comes from the original trilogy of Scream movies. And that is something that I guess you could deem him an OG character. But in order for everyone to feel utterly unsafe, could he die? Yes, he could die in the opening, but more than likely, this makes me lean towards something incredibly twisted. This makes me lean towards the theory that perhaps the opening kill is none other than Gale Weathers herself. Because let's face it, if they kill Sidney, then that's really something that's out there. And then we know nobody's safe in the movie. But we also know that Sidney is probably going to have a really big part in this movie, and that her kids are there. So her kids being there and being chased by Ghostface as well, that's going to be that story. That's going to be that story. So how can they open it up to where we as the viewers are utterly afraid of Ghostface? How can they open it up to where we are worried as to how Ghostface comes back and what exactly Ghostface will do? Well, the simple answer is to kill someone that is unkillable. I mean, when people first saw the Scream movie and they saw Drew Barrymore in the opening scene, Drew Barrymore was the star of Scream. That was the face of everything on the posters and everything. And then we got to see her die, and everybody was shocked. And then we got to the second movie, and the second movie had a cameo opening of somebody who got killed. And sure, that was a brutal scene. We all enjoyed it. It was wild. But it wasn't as shocking as the Drew Barrymore one. And then you got to Scream 3. And when you got to Scream 3, Cotton Weary, who we thought was going to be one of those guys that was going to survive till the end of all of these movies now, was killed. And that was a shock. That was a complete and utter shock. Then we got Scream 4, and Scream 4 did okay in terms of the opening, but it wasn't what Scream 1 was, and it wasn't what Scream 3 was. And then we got Scream 5, and again, it was okay for an opening, but it wasn't what we expected. Now, that one I will say had an amazing opening, because Jenna Ortega being the opening character, and we thought she was as good as dead. And then for her to actually survive and go on in the movie was something that we didn't expect to see. But then you got to Scream 6, and Scream 6 did the whole cameo thing. Now, they did shock us a little bit by subverting what we thought was going to happen. However, this has gone all the way back to Sidney Prescott. So in order for them to take us back to Sidney Prescott, it's got to be someone close to her. This has got to be someone that's going to shock us completely. It can't be one of her kids. And the reason it can't be one of her kids is because in order for that to be shocking, we'd have to know this kid. We'd have to know who this kid is, and we don't know her kids. So while that would be shocking, and it would be a twist, and it would sort of set the stage going forward for this movie that no one is safe, we as the viewers wouldn't have the same investment that we would have if someone that we actually care about got killed. That's why this new rumor that is out, this makes me think that this is going to be on the level of seeing Cotton Weary die after we thought that Cotton Weary would go on. This is on the level of us seeing Drew Barrymore die when everybody thought Drew Barrymore was the star. This is one of those things. It's sort of that iconic situation where they can make the movie opening so outrageous and so violent and so cool and make you utterly terrified because none of the people you love may get out alive. That it's gotta be a situation where they kill Gale Weathers. She is my choice in terms of who I think is probably going to be the opening kill. Because we do know Courtney Cox has come back. We know that much. And we know that she's been working out. So that tells us she probably has a chase scene. She probably had to get into shape to do what she's doing. And why would you have to get into shape if you're sort of in the background being a reporter? She's never really had a lot of amazing stunts in this movie before, in this movie franchise. The only time we ever saw her do anything resembling a stunt was in Scream 6. And that wasn't very much, actually. If you go back and look at the movie, it wasn't as big of a stunt as it might appear in the heat of the moment. Because while we were watching it, that was an amazing fight scene to watch. It really was. And it was intense. And we all thought that Gale Weathers was done, but that proved not to be the case. If this movie has her running, has her in some sort of major battle with Ghostface, then it's probably the opening. She is probably going to be the opening kill. That's what I am now thinking from hearing this rumor. Alright, so that's where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. What do you think about the rumor that Melissa Barrera is coming back and that it's kind of false? Would you rather have seen her come back for this movie? And also, what do you think is going to be the degree to which they talk about those characters from Scream 7 in this new movie? What do you think about this behind the mask tweet that came out talking about how Scream audiences will be scared by Ghostface more than any other time, and talking about how the way he comes back will give a real sense of danger to everyone involved? As always, we want to hear from you guys, so make sure you are leaving us that comment in the comment box below. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're definitely going to want to be a part of this conversation as well. Then don't forget to hit that like button. It's free, it helps the channel, and we really do appreciate it. Miko says we need more subscribers, and look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there, hit that notification bell as well, so you don't miss a single video we do. Then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.